Welcome back to another episode of No Shame with Shane, where the takes have no lies, no bias, but most importantly, no shame. I'm your host, Shane Fordham. Now, it's that time of year, it's the playoffs starting up this week. Favorite time of the year, NFL playoffs. I'm going to go through my quick playoff predictions, starting with NFC. Panthers versus the Rams in Charlotte. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Rams got this in the bag. Easy game for the Rams. Gimme game for the Rams. Easy game for Matt Stafford and his elite receiver duo with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Now, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm not going to say the Rams are losing this game, but I think the Panthers are definitely capable of winning it. I mean, we've already seen them beat the Rams once in the regular season. They're at home in Charlotte with that number 4 seed. I think the Panthers are definitely capable of winning this matchup against the Rams. I'm not saying the Rams are going to lose, but I think the Panthers are definitely capable of beating the Rams at home in Charlotte. Like, if we're looking at this offense, depending on what version of Bryce Young we see in this matchup, I think this Panthers offense can be a problem for this Rams defense. Like, we're talking about Bryce Young. Like, we've seen this guy go for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in a in regulation minutes. He has a physical group of receivers. Tedero McMillan, a true number 1 receiver now in Tedero McMillan. We've seen how he has opened up this offense from where it was able to function last year. Xavier Legette looks much better as a receiver 2 as opposed to a forced receiver 1. We've seen Jalen Coker as a receiver 3 make some grown man plays, some grown man catches, really looking like one of the most physical receivers in the NFL. They have an impressive tight end in Tommy Tremble, which allows them to do a lot of different things in the short yardage game, but also he's a guy that can break a big play at times. We know they have a true run game by committee, a true 2-back backfield with Rico Dowdle, how he's looked midseason, Chuba Hubbard back in his RB2 role, a pretty solid offensive line. Like, this Panthers offense can definitely be a problem for a Rams defense. Like, looking at this Panthers receiving group, like, we've seen this Rams secondary, especially Emmanuel Forbes, who is a sort of undersized, smaller corner. We've seen this Rams secondary struggle with physical receivers. If there's anything the Panthers have, it's physical receivers. Physical receivers and longer type of receivers like Tedero McMillan. Like, I think this receiving group for the Panthers is honestly the exact type of receiver group that the Rams secondary has struggled with during this season. Emmanuel Forbes, even though he's played great football this year, we've seen him have issues keeping up with those bigger guys, the Mike Evans, the AJ Browns of the NFL. We saw him struggle with Tedero McMillan this season in week 13. Like, I feel like this is the exact type of matchup that poses a problem for this Rams defense because of how physical these Panthers receivers are, how the level of hands that they have, like the athleticism that is in that receiving group. Like, I honestly feel like that is going to be the matchup to exploit for Dave Canales and this Panthers offense will be really utilizing this receiving group heavy, allowing Bryce Young to show off his arm, kind of, show who he is as a passer against a Rams secondary that has had its issues this season. I feel like this Panthers offense definitely poses a threat to this Rams defense 100%. And if they get if they get the right version of Bryce Young, the version of Bryce Young that we have seen on several occasions this season, I definitely feel like this is a winnable game for the Panthers. 100%. Eagles versus the 49ers. Y'all know what I'm going. Eagles all day. Eagles all day. It's not even close. Like, I think the Panthers-Rams game can be close. This Eagles-49ers game is not going to be close. And I honestly think the 49ers should be shaking in their boots at the mere thought of a playoff Jalen Hurts. Playoff Jalen Hurts. There are not many things in this world that are scarier, more efficient, more lethal than a playoff Jalen Hurts. A fully healthy playoff Jalen Hurts with a fully healthy offense. A.J. Brown, healthy Devontae Smith, healthy offensive line. Like, they are not like the 49ers. This 49ers defense, without Fred Warner, without Nick Bosa, should be shaking in their boots at the thought of a playoff level Jalen Hurts. A guy who has been there and won that. Not just been there and done that, been there and won that. Been to this point in the season and then some. Obviously being a Super Bowl champion. Like, a playoff Jalen Hurts should definitely be enough to beat the 49ers in the wild card round of the playoffs. That should be enough. Honestly, all I have to say is playoff Jalen Hurts. Playoff Jalen Hurts is the best player in the NFL. A playoff Jalen Hurts, not even talking about Super Bowl Jalen Hurts, a playoff Jalen Hurts is the best player in the NFL. The 49ers do not stand a chance. Eagles are beating the 49ers with ease. Bears taking on the Packers. Bears hosting the Packers. I gotta say, this one is a bit closer to me. I think the quarterback matchup, Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams, is interesting. Two immensely talented quarterbacks. Jordan Love obviously having more experience in the playoffs than Caleb Williams. Jordan Love also having more, also having ups and downs in the playoffs. I think if we're looking at these two teams side by side, I would say right now I'm more scared of Jordan Love in the playoffs than I am of Caleb Williams, just because we haven't seen it yet. But I think I'm more scared of Ben Johnson in the playoffs than I am of Matt LaFleur. I think I am more scared of this Chicago Bears offense as a whole, the skill players they have, the improved offensive line that they have. Looking at their receivers, DJ Moore, the way Luther Burden has looked this year, a healthy Roma Odunze. You got to look at the tight ends, this tight end duo as well, with Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland looking like an offensive rookie of the year candidate. But then they also have the backfield with DeAndre Swift at the helm. Like, I'm definitely more scared of this Chicago Bears offense as a whole than I am of a Packers offense as a whole, even though the Packers offense is super talented still. Even with Tucker Kraft being down, still Christian Watson playing at a high level. Having Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs all healthy. Luke Musgrave, still a decent tight end in Tucker Kraft's stead. A offensive player of the year candidate in Josh Jacobs, an elite running back. This Packers offense definitely poses a threat. But I am a little more scared of a Chicago Bears offense with the talent that it has, with the mind of Ben Johnson pulling the strings from the sideline. I'm a little more scared of that offense. But I'm also more scared of this Bears defense right now as well. I'm more scared of this Bears defense than I am of a Packers defense without Micah Parsons. And yes, I know they still have Rashawn Gary. They still have one of the better linebacker duos right now with Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper. They still have one of the better secondaries right now. Valentine, Xavier McKinney. Like it's a problem for sure. It's a problem. But I am more scared of this Bears defense right now with I mean, leading the league in takeaways right now. They have championship DNA in that secondary with CJ Gardner Johnson. They have an elite secondary all around. One of the best cornerback duos in the league right now in Jalen Johnson, Deshaun Wright. One of the better safety duos in the league right now with CJ Gardner Johnson and Kevin Byard. Been playing great ball for the Chicago Bears this season. They also have one of the best linebacker duos in the league in TJ Edwards and Noah Sewell. And a pretty decent pass rush with Grady Jarrett, Montez Sweat. So I am still, I am, I'm still giving the Bears defense an edge up against the Packers defense. So, I mean, if the Bears right now to me have a better offense, a more talented all around offense, they have the better defense right now, in my opinion. I think they have a slightly better coach in Ben Johnson than Matt LaFleur. I gotta give the dub to the Bears in this matchup. I gotta give the dub to the Bears in this matchup. I think that will be one of the more entertaining games of the wild card round, but I gotta go with the Bears in that matchup. Looking at the AFC, Patriots versus the Chargers. I'm not gonna lie, I was leaning more towards the Chargers originally, just because Justin Herbert having the hot start that he had this year, the talent that the Chargers have. Like honestly, the Chargers have everything they need to really make it to the Super Bowl, let alone or at least the AFC Championship game, let alone survive the wild card round. One of the most talented offenses in the league, a future superstar quarterback in Justin Herbert, talented backfield with Marion Hampton and Kamani Vidal, super talented receivers. They got Keenan Allen back, Ladd McConkey, the way Quentin Johnston has looked this season. They got Keandre Lambert-Smith, who honestly looks like he could have been an offensive rookie of the year candidate if he just got more snaps. Like, injured O-line, but they still have a very talented offense. They obviously have one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. They have one of the best coaches, a Titan coach in Jim Harbaugh. Like, I was leaning towards the Chargers, but then I remembered Justin Herbert is prone to folding in the playoffs. Justin Herbert is prone to folding in the playoffs. I would not be surprised at all if Justin Herbert, while having all the talent that he does, having the coaching that he does, having the elite defense that he does this year, I still would not be surprised if Justin Herbert folds. I would not be surprised if Justin Herbert folds. I would not be surprised if Drake May rises to the moment. I would not be surprised if Justin Herbert folds while Drake May rises to the occasion and answers the call. Drake May also has a pretty solid defense, not an elite defense, but a talented defense. Talented pass rush with Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, who has Super Bowl DNA. Christian Gonzalez, one of the best corners in the league right now. He has coaching as well in Mike Vrabel. Maybe not as good of a coach as what Justin Herbert has, but still a good coach to have who has playoff experience. I'm low key leaning towards the Patriots in this matchup. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a matchup, looking at the Patriots and the Chargers, this is a matchup that the Chargers should win. They have the better defense. They have the more talented offense. They have the more talented quarterback. They have the better coach. This is a matchup that the Chargers should win. But as we have seen before, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes with game on the line, if it comes down to Justin Herbert having to outduel Drake May, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Herbert falls short. I wouldn't be surprised if Drake May outduels Justin Herbert in the playoffs because of how prone to folding Justin Herbert is in these moments, in the biggest moments of the season. In the moments that matter the most, that really matter and hold weight, Justin Herbert is prone to falling short. So even though this is a matchup the Chargers should win, I wouldn't be surprised if Drake May outduels Justin Herbert on this stage. I wouldn't be surprised. Jaguars, Bills in Jacksonville. I think the Bills take that. I don't think Josh Allen is losing in the first round of the playoffs to an inexperienced Jags team that just has one playoff win under their belt. Josh Allen is used to fighting for AFC championships. Hasn't made it to the big dance yet, but Josh Allen is used to fighting for AFC championships, not wild card rounds. I don't see Josh Allen losing in the first round of the playoffs, especially against this defense. And probably any other matchup, I would lean away from the Bills just because this is probably the least amount of talent, the least talented version of this Bills team that we have seen during the Josh Allen era. One of the least. This is about the least amount of talent the Bills have had in a minute in this playoff era. In this playoff era, any other matchup I would lean away from the Bills, but because the Bills are seeing this Jaguars defense, that even though they have a winning pass rush with Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, this is a defense that vastly struggles against the run. And if there's anything this Bills offense can do, it's run the ball. James Cook leading the league in rushing yards right now. Josh Allen being the dual threat quarterback that he is. The Bills should definitely beat the Jags 100%. The Bills should definitely beat the Jags. I think the Bills' run game is going to run up and down this Jags defense. I think that's going to be the difference. Even though Trevor Lawrence has been on a heater towards the end of the season, I don't see that making much of a difference or big enough of a difference when it comes to this Bills run game against this Jags run stop defense. The Jags have one of the worst run stop defenses in the NFL, and they are seeing the league leader in rushing yards in James Cook and arguably the best dual threat quarterback in the NFL in Josh Allen. Even though this Bills offense as a whole is not super talented, I do think it is good enough at doing certain things like running the ball to beat this Jags defense in playoffs, and the fact that they have playoff experience. I think this Bills offense is experienced enough and is good enough at running the ball to beat this Jags team, making it past the wild card round. I do. I really do. Steelers versus Texans. This is Texans all day. It wouldn't matter if it's in Pittsburgh. It wouldn't matter if it was in Aaron Rodgers' backyard. Home field advantage does not matter in this matchup. It does not matter. Texans are wiping the floor with the Steelers. I believe that wholeheartedly. Getting DK Metcalf back, I don't think is going to make a big enough difference when seeing this elite secondary in Houston. Talking about Derek Stingley Jr., Kalen Bullock, Jalen Petrie, Lassiter, one of the best cornerback duos, but just arguably the best secondary in the game of football as a whole. I don't think getting DK Metcalf back is making that much of a difference against this defense. But then you also have to worry about the pass rush. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. I don't see how Aaron Rodgers won't be running for his life almost every play. Like, I don't even like you have DK Metcalf back, but I don't see how Aaron Rodgers is going to have time to get DK Metcalf the ball consistently when he's going to be running for his life almost every play because of how dominant this pass rush has been this season. Because of how dominant Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson have been this season. I think this is an easy win for the Texans in Pittsburgh. For sure. Pittsburgh, like Aaron Rodgers, this offense looked great in the fourth quarter against the Ravens, 100%. But seeing a depleted Ravens and a depleted, injured Ravens defense is totally different than seeing one of, if not the best defense in the NFL, the best secondary in the NFL, the best, arguably the best pass rush, or at least pass rush duo in the NFL. Texans could very easily wipe the floor with the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Especially when the fact, like, if you're looking at the Texans, they have CJ Stroud, an elite approaching quarterback, in the pocket. They have a healthy Nico Collins, his healthy receiver one, that's going to be flying around down the field. They have a Nick Chubb in the backfield. Like, I don't see how the Texans lose this game, regardless of the fact that it's in Pittsburgh. I don't see how the Texans lose this game with the talent that they have. Having one of the best, if not the best defense in the NFL. Having one of the most talented quarterbacks, elite approaching quarterbacks in the NFL in CJ Stroud, who also has his healthy number one receiver in Nico Collins, who will have a healthy Nick Chubb in the backfield, in the run game. I don't see how the Texans lose this game. But that's all we got for today's edition of No Shame with Shane. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms, and I will be back later on with more shameless takes.